Morning, everyone. That's a hard video to follow. Good morning, veterans, family, guests, and students. I am humbled to stand before you. You have sacrificed so much that we may enjoy the freedoms we have today. I am honored, privileged, and indebted to you. Thank you for your service and sacrifice. My name is Cindy Gruner, and I am a quilter. I volunteer for Quilts of Valor. It has become a passion of mine. I'm the daughter-in-law of a World War II veteran, and I am an aunt of a major in the Air Force who was stationed at the Pentagon. The Quilts of Valor Foundation is a national 501c3 organization. Our mission is to cover veterans and military personnel with healing and comforting quilts called Quilts of Valor. Our foundation represents one human reaching out, touching another, reaching out without judgment, and the acceptance and acknowledgement of their service to our nation under very trying circumstances. With the son stationed in Iraq, our founder, Captain Roberts, dreamt of a young man surrounded by his war demons in the middle of the night. Their next vision was the young man wrapped in a quilt, his demeanor changed to one of hope and well-being. Thus began the journey of Quilts of Soldiers, now known as the Quilts of Valor Foundation. Catherine's first quilt was delivered to Walter Reed Hospital in October of 2003 by Colonel John Gallerson. The words he spoke then are the words we still use today. The quilts we award today will join the over 350,000 quilts that have been awarded nationwide. A Quilt of Valor is a lifetime award. It is not a blanket. A blanket is a single layer of fabric. A quilt consists of 3 layers, and we like to think of them in these terms. The top of the quilt, with its many colors, shapes, and fabric, represents the many faces of people who served in our armed forces, our communities, and the individuals we are. The center of the quilt contains the batting, the part of the quilt that emits the warmth. All between the layers, it represents the comfort and healing we are offered. The back is the strength that supports the outer layers and represents the strength of the recipient. The quilt is held together with thousands of stitches that represent you, our families, and our communities, all coming together to support one another. The quilt represents the gratitude of all of our citizens for your service and sacrifice. We offer them as a tangible civilian award to thank you for the protection of our freedoms. A Quilt of Valor is priceless. It can never be bought, it can never be sold, and it is never a gift. Know us, we are stitching, and the students here made these quilts. They are remembering the sacrifices you made for us. It is a quilt that comes from the heart and hands, and sometimes the tears of the maker. No two are alike. What is the same is the love that is quilted in each stitch. Today, it is my honor to have these students award 3 Quilts of Valor. As we always remember those killed in action and those missing in action, a Quilt of Valor is for you, the living. Today, we offer you comfort and healing. We offer you our deepest gratitude for your sacrifice. As you are wrapped in the quilt, we ask you to accept it with a hug. It not only comes from me and the students, it also comes from every Quilt of Valor member family. Allison?
We're going to flip the order that's in your program. We're going to start with Sheldon. So if you would come on up to Sheldon Green. These are students that are currently in our Going to Serve class here at NEW, or were in last year's class that had a hand in making the quilts that we are presenting today. Sheldon Green served our country in the United States Army from 1961 to 1970. He started his service in Missouri at Fort Leonard Wood for basic training and continued his training in Georgia at Fort Gordon for signal school. After his training, Private Green served in the Military Occupational Specialties 31M20 radio relay and carrier operator as a radio operator. He then served with the 440th Signal Battalion in Kaiserslautern, Germany. He returned stateside and was stationed at Fort Lewis in Washington for Vietnam training before being deployed with the 261st Signal Company, 1st Signal Brigade, 1st Infantry Division to Phu Hai, South Vietnam. Private Green then served with the ROK 9th Infantry Division, 28th Infantry Regiment, also known as White Horse. Finally, Private Green was stationed at Fort Riley in Kansas with the 1st Infantry Division, 5th U.S. Army until his honorable discharge. During his years of service, Private Green received the National Defense Service Medal, Sharpshooter M14 Rifle Recognition, the Vietnam Service Medal, the Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal with DEV 60, the Presidential Unit Award, the Cold War Commemorative Medal, 1069 Bronze Battle Star, Fall Operative Bronze Battle Star, Honorable Service Palm, Code of Conduct Award, Military Justice Medal, Combat Readiness Training, the Geneva Convention recognition, benefits of honorable discharge, completion of signal course, 68 radio relay carrier and operator, and West Point seminars invitation, and more. Sheldon Green has been blessed with 5 daughters and is married to his high school sweetheart, Rhonda Petroselli.
Sheldon, thank you for your service and sacrifice. Welcome home. Here's your certificate and a presentation. Nothing like that one.
Yes.
Hey, guys, I want to hang on, Sheldon, away from me. One of your students, Zachary.
Wetland. Yep.
Wrote on here, you traded your name for a number, became part of something bigger than yourselves to protect those, who you will never meet. Thank you. You have done more for this country than I will ever know.
Next veteran we are honoring is Ronald Miller. Ronald H. Miller served our country in the United States Navy from 1961 to 1967. He began his service by completing basic training in Great Lakes, Illinois, and later moved to Pensacola, Florida, to study at the School of Aviation for Medicine. After completing his studies, Ronald was stationed at Camp Pendleton in California to complete training with the Marine Corps and receive his expert sharpshooter training. This training allowed him to serve alongside the Marines as a medic in the A Company, 3rd Medical Battalion in Okinawa, Japan. After that assignment, Ronald returned to the United States and was stationed in Kanawi, Hawaii until he was honorably discharged as a hospital foreman, 3rd class. Ronald is married to Kathy Miller, and together they have been blessed with 2 children.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service and sacrifice, and welcome home.
Thank you very much.
Our final veteran for today is Rolland E. Briar. Rolland E. Briar served our country in the United States Navy from 1941 to 1946, and then continued in the reserves from 1946 until 1949. He began his training in Great Lakes, Illinois, and after graduating from basic training, Rolland was assigned to Company 29, and they were sent to Pearl Harbor for transfer to destroyers by Comstock, located on the USS Dixie. Rolland was then transferred to Flag Allowance. Rolland was eventually transferred to the USS Whitney, a destroyer tender, where he was stationed during the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. On the morning of December 7th, 1941, Rolland was on the deck of the USS Whitney, waiting for the motor launch to take him to Ford Island for church services. The USS Whitney had 5 destroyers moored next to it, and Rolland is thankful that the Japanese did not follow through with a third wave assault, as that wave would have been aimed at the destroyers immediately next to his ship. After the attack, Rolland worked alongside his command to reassign survivors to other ships. After serving on the Whitney, Rolland also served in the USS Market and the Magazine Island in Pearl Harbor. Eventually, the United States Navy scheduled Rolland to attend Purdue University, but due to the Battle of Midway, all transfers were postponed. Eventually, he was sent to the University of Dubuque in Iowa and then to Northwestern. The Navy later sent him to Harvard for officers training, and he received his commission for Supply Corps duties. Rolland was then sent to the Naval Air Station in Jacksonville, Florida, and qualified for aviation supply. Rolland was then stationed at the Naval Air Station in Saipan and remained there until he was released from active duty in 1946. He then joined the reserves and was promoted to lieutenant junior grade. During that time, he became part of the mobilization team during the Cold War. Rolland celebrated his 101st birthday this year and has been blessed with 3 children, 9 grandchildren, and 14 great-grandchildren.
On behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, we serve, honor, and comfort you. Though we may never know the depth of your sacrifice to protect and defend the United States of America, as a gesture of our gratitude to a grateful nation. Welcome home. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.